So there's a lot of things going on. Obviously, we got to talk about last year with Josh Allen to start, so we might as well just start there. You see his progression over the years, and all of a sudden last year he comes out and he's arguably an MVP quarterback. So when you're and you add Stephon Diggs, you see all these things happen with the McDermott, that stuff. But just from a perspective of last year, as it started and as it progressed, what was your feeling like throughout the season and going into the playoffs, stuff like that, about Josh, about the team?
I mean, it was surreal. I mean, you know me, I'm an optimist. So every year for the past 18 years, I'm like, this is our year. We're going to the bowl, even though I knew we were going to be 6-10. But just watch it was crazy. It was he definitely exceeded my expectations. So.
Almost like, I'm not going to say a dream come true, but
Yes.
almost like your wish
I
has
would
finally
say
become
that.
a reality,
Yes,
right? You're like,
I would say
because
that.
it's true. Every single year, the first time the Bills score, somebody in our family sends out a text. We're going to the bowl. It doesn't matter even if in that game if we're already down like 31-7. If we score first game of the year, we are instantly head to the bowl.
Yeah.
So then we come into the offseason. I mean, we knew what the Chiefs could do beforehand. Now we've seen it when it became crunch time. So, moves are being made, trades, we're bringing in, we bring in Emmanuel Sanders. We bring in, some guys in the draft, some big guys up front on the defense. But I have to ask, because this is how I think, and I know you're an optimist, and I would say I'm a very pessimistic optimist. I loved what happened last season, but do you still have a little bit of that feeling in your stomach, like, we're the fucking Bills, man?
No, I don't.
Okay, that makes me feel very good.
I lost that last year. I really
love
did.
that.
For the first time in my adult life, yes.
That made me so excited.
Yep.
I'll say the difference, though. Weren't you alive during that?
I was
before?
really, really young.
Yeah.
I barely remember the Super Bowl years, but for pretty much all I could remember, the Bills sucked.
See, I got to tell you, I'm still do have that fear inside because I
But
feel
it was
like
your
it's-
whole life.
Well,
right?
that's what I mean.
what I'm
I've
saying.
never
That's what I'm
seen
saying.
the Bills be good
Yeah.
back to back seasons. Like I've never seen them be as good as they were last year. The thought in my mind that will continue, and I
Look,
don't lie
I mean,
when I lay.
to say it.
Yeah.
For fans our age, we've never not been disappointed.
Yeah, I can
And
understand
I
that.
and I
although
literally
last
sit
season
there.
was basically not a
I
disappointment. It
sit
was
there
really
at
great,
but doesn't
but
it
still.
then it makes it feel like it's looming.
Right.
So I sit there at night and I actually stay up at night thinking about this sometimes. I'm like, there's no reason to worry about it. I'm like, everybody's coming back. Josh is only going to take another step. Diggs is going to be dialed in. Like we got everybody we need. Cole's going to be healthy again, right? Because he was so banged up at the end of last season.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was fighting. He was on one leg practically.
Yeah,
you know
didn't
what
he
I
have
mean?
like a broken
something. Yeah, which is just something that, most people will never do in their lives is walk on a broken leg,
Right.
let alone play in an NFL game or whatever it was. So we're coming into this season. Hopes are high. We've made adjustments that are hopefully going to allow us to get to quarterbacks better, because that was one thing down the stretch that was really one of the only downfalls of our team. I mean,
Definitely the biggest
offensively,
weakness.
you can't. There's no comments to be made offensively. I think, losing John Brown, it's like, oh, you kind of lost some speed. But it turns out that Diggs was kind of faster than him the whole time anyway, which we didn't really know. And you add another veteran in Sanders, right?
Yeah.
So you have to assume that he's going to get catches. This is my big question. You see what they do with the Stephon Diggs contract, right? They free up that just about $12 million in cap space. We kind of had this conversation a couple weeks ago, right? So what is your take on the whole thing?
So I was a big fan of going out and getting someone like Zach Ertz, a flashy tight end. But what you just said, I've been thinking about, do we really need to improve the offense to be a Super Bowl team? No, we don't. We need to spend that money on the defense. So I'm changing my tune a little bit there.
Somebody hit me with this the other day, and it's not even something that I really had thought about beforehand. Zach Ertz is one of the top tight ends in the league. But when you look at his numbers, the majority of his catches and offensive yards come from, and I didn't know this beforehand, come from being in the slot. So then I was instantly like, well, you got a slot guy, right? So what do you need, So, and that was their reason as to why go out and get a CB2. Go out and get Stephon Diggs. Or not Stephon Diggs, sorry, Gilmore. You know what I mean? Somebody like that. Go out and get a big name, like cornerback, where you can have him and Trey White back there. You have, Poyer and you have. I mean, our secondary is.
I don't know if you saw that just the other day. PFF rated our secondary as like the 4th best in the league or something crazy.
They did like a safety duo rating, and the Bills weren't even on it top 10. And it's like
Wow.
the people at PFF, they're maybe a little bit bigger of a brand as they are, but I think that's my fuck you of the week today.
Yeah, for
so the
sure.
people at PFF, fuck you, because it's almost like I was so used to the Bills getting shit on, and we sucked. Even when we had good players, it's like, oh, they deserve credit, but we get it, we're the Bills.
Yep.
I mean, come on. How can they continue to do that after what they saw last season? I saw somebody say that they would rather have Cam Newton than Josh Allen. on
That's
their team.
insane.
That's the dumbest thing
That's
I've ever heard.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't like to say mean things to people, but like
You after just telling all those people.
I meant
fuck
meaner. Yeah, like
Meaner than that.
reconsider your shit. Seriously. So, all right. So, say whatever they do with that money. I mean, and I'm not saying that I'm going to be pissed if they bring in a guy like Zach Ertz. Like he obviously adds to our offense. That means we're going to be 5 wide a lot, just like we were last year. I like Singletary. I think that our running back position is fine because I don't think that's the focus of our game.
We didn't really need them last year, so
We pass on first down a lot, and in situations where you need 3-4 yards, I trust our running backs, if not Josh Allen, to get us 3 or 4 yards with their legs. You know what I mean? So I think that anybody in the NFL who spends big money on running backs anymore is a little bit delusional. But if they go more towards the defensive side of the ball, now our defenses can be equivalent to our offense, right? If you have another person like that in the secondary, teams aren't going to want to pass. We've got some new talent up front where they're hopefully not going to be able to run. So what does that do for us going forward when we eventually find the Kansas City again?
Super Bowl.
I
That's
think
what it
so
does.
too. But it makes me nervous still and this is kind of what I was getting to when I brought up the whole money thing, is even though I said I wouldn't be mad with the Zach Ertz thing, I think that another cornerback makes such a difference because you saw what happened when to everybody in the NFL, with the exception of Tampa Bay, and their defense is incredible, when Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball to any of his 40 weapons that they can throw on the field.
Yeah, I mean Levi Wallace isn't a bad number 2, but he's serviceable. I mean,
yes, and you need serviceable, especially with a 17-game season this year. I know it's only another game, but it's another game. You guys are going to get banged up. You're going to need people to fill in the lineup.
Serviceable doesn't win Super Bowls.
Yes, and serviceable, exactly. Well said. So my last thing about it then is, if I don't even want to put you on the spot like this because I know what I would say, but realistic prediction record-wise this year. Are we talking like 15-2? Are we that?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking we're that good.
I mean that honestly and sincerely.
Without saying
yes.
17-0, I really think that on our schedule, I mean, the thing is, like, you look at games like the Cardinals game last year, like, you're going to lose games in shitty ways. It happens. It's a professional sport. It's not like the other people you're playing against are dog water, right? But if the offense plays the way it did, and I think that it will and it should, I think Diggs is going to be. Do you ever watch his videos of him training, like in the sand and stuff like that?
No, I haven't seen those.
Oh, I'll start sending them to you because they are crazy. This dude, he's a freak. He's an absolute freak of nature, and I would give him a hug if I ever saw him because he deserves it. So 15-2.
It just sounds so crazy.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, we'd make predictions like this in prior years, and people would laugh at us, but it's actually realistic now. It's
Right.
wild.
It's like that guy with the end is near sign. But eventually one of those dudes is going to be right.
I used to say that all the time. Super Bowl. I have to be right eventually.
Well, and again, like we say, we hope because my dad has that shirt that's like the one more before I die or something like, or just one before I die, yeah. And I would say at this point in my life, I hope that we get one before I die because I think I got some years left in me.
Well, you're not gonna have to wait long.
No, I mean, so if the Bills do win the Super Bowl this year,
we have to prepare for that. I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Where do we watch the Super Bowl? What do we do? I
we
mean, we haven't had to worry about that for your entire lives.
That's
and
true.
You know what I mean? It's got to be
Yeah,
big. We got to do something huge. I don't even know.
And it was something that I started to think about this year, like leading up to that game against Kansas City. I'm like, if the Bills win this, my two thought processes were, do I fly to Miami or do I, but the thing about, then you're not in Buffalo when they win. I almost think that other cities, other football teams are different, but I almost think with the Buffalo Bills, I would rather be in Buffalo when the team wins than wherever the Super Bowl is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I get that because the thing is, this whole city is gonna be. I mean, there's no adjective to describe it.
No.
Electric. It's gonna be unbelievable.
I might not work for 2 years.
I might quit ahead of the Super Bowl just to
Yeah.
be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are gonna have to take a lot of like if the Super Bowl goes down, it's basically gonna be like when that boat got stuck in the Suez
Everything
Canal.
just shut
Everything
down.
just stops. Like
There's no reason for anything that you don't need anything. Because here's my theory. The Bills are in the Super Bowl. It's a huge Super Bowl party. Enough food to last us 4 days, I would say. is
At
what we
least.
need.
Yeah.
If you have enough food to last you 4 days, we'll be fine.
right, we can survive under martial law for that long.
Yeah. Just don't kill anybody.
Yeah.
That should be the other than that,
And also, this
and
is
I guess grease the light poles if you want. But other than that, like it's gonna be crazy. Somebody said to me, like, it was one of my friend's moms, was like, "What about open container laws?" I'm like, "Yeah, good luck."
What about
Yeah,
that?
good luck. If the Bills win the Super Bowl, that is the least
That
of your
is not
concerns.
what people are going to be worried
Yeah,
about.
you
no.
should probably have the fire department
Right.
prepared.
Make sure your house
Yeah.
is flame proof.
Yeah, head over to Uncle Keith's. Yeah, make sure that he's not, you know.
Oh yeah, he's gonna
Yeah.
buy like every firework.
Yeah, but
the state.
and that's the thing though. If the Bill, that's what you need. If the Bills win the Super Bowl, I want the sky lit up with fireworks.
Right. You're gonna think it's daytime.
I
out
want honestly
with all the celebrating.
a couple people.
Sure.
A couple people will have to sacrifice a finger or two.
I'm willing.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not the only one.
If that means we win the bowl, man, you can take them
Yeah.
all. I don't care.
Yeah, people.
I don't
Where
care.
you gonna put your replica ring though? Other hand.
Yeah, I got 5 more, man.
Yeah.